안녕하세요.
Welcome back. Welcome back, Mina.
오랜만입니다.
네, 오랜만입니다.
Mina Kim
네,
is
안녕하세요.
finally
다시
back after
시민사회로
a bit of a
돌아온
rest to host the
반갑습니다.
LCK Spring
네,
Split
뚫린
analyst task
안녕하세요.
alongside
네,
with
아주
Lyra
힘들었던
and Victory.
빅토리입니다.
안녕하세요, 리라 남팀입니다.
제가 이제 집에서 방송을 봤는데 1대1 대담을
She's been
펼치시더라고요.
네.
watching the whole analyst task and
재밌었어요.
having.
그런데
She saw Victory and Lyra having a lot of talk show during the analyst task.
네.
자, 오늘 담원과 DRX의 경기가
DAMWON versus DRX game number 1. Game was going back and forth, but in the end, DRX had a very dominating performance and closed out the game. Speaking of the draft, DRX for sure had a better scaling comp, so DAMWON should have had a lot of points earned in the early game and also shouldn't make mistakes. So it's a bit of a more difficult comp coming in from DAMWON Gaming. However, they failed to execute some of those plays that was required for DAMWON to scale up. Double kill from Lee Sin in the early game was a really good start. However, they weren't able to snowball on throughout the game. They locked in B1 Aphelios, but well, actually, it was really hard for do any damages on Aphelios. As you guys saw, him doing tons of auto on the Ornn, but Ornn did not really take a lot of damage. And they picked quite confidently Aatrox into Ornn. However, which is not a really good counter pick. It's actually getting self-countered. So, well, because they started with a losing matchup, it was not an unexpected result that DAMWON had to get that defeat in game number 1. So let's take a look at this team fight over here. So with this new patch, well, the stopwatch activates at 14-minute mark, but the cooldown goes down as you pick up any kill or assist. So DRX had a bit of a dangerous timing over here because Deft also used his ultimate to clear out the wave and he based back. So Nocturne was about to get cut out, and DRX had their cover a bit later than DAMWON Gaming. However, Pyozik, even being caught out, they were able to exchange points, not getting just one-sided defeat. So even though DAMWON had early support from other players, they were not able to find a very reasonable accomplishment over there. And also, that early game fail of trade on coming out from the top side and also keep getting just imbalance in the top side was the main reason why DAMWON could not get any bigger points throughout the game. So DAMWON is a team that plays around the top side, but Noguri was not having his best day today, and also DRX was really smart playing into DAMWON Gaming all throughout the game. So they saw Showmaker rotating down with that ward in the brush, so they called in Ornn and Nocturne for a backup. And plus, Botio, Senna, and MF also roamed up. The Showmaker was in a sandwich position right there, so with a better comp, with a better positioning, DRX just had to win that game. As Canyon plays around the top side, well, maybe they should have relied on the top side, but rest of the DAMWON players were trying to make a play around the bot side, so that's why they were a bit dismantled in that fight. So LeBlanc looked a little bit gelled in with his teammates because all the DAMWON players were not on the same page in terms of choosing their recipe to win this game. The player of the game for game number 1 would be Doran on Ornn. He executed that 2v1 play really well in early game, and also he was so tanky. Doran already had a very better end of the trade during the laning phase, and he just picked up a kill in the 2v1 situation, and his engagement with his ultimate was really on point. And after being so scaled up in late game, there was no way for DAMWON players to melt him down. And also, Pyosik really needed a lot of time to scale up, and Doran was the one that earned so much time for him. He kind of made more space for Pyosik to camp around the jungle. Doran picked up 9 votes out of 9 people, which means everyone voted for Doran. Doran becoming more and more controlled and improved. Well, DRX starts to look very consistent. And let's check out game number 2, DAMWON Gaming versus DRX.
Thank you so much, Ji-san, for the translation of the analyst desk, and welcome back to Mina Kim as well. She had a little bit of time off after feeling a little bit ill, made sure that she got better, and now it's great to have her back for these 3 days.
Yeah.
As we get into game number 2 of DragonX versus DAMWON, let's see whether DAMWON actually manages to draft.
2.5 days.
Sorry, 2.5 days.
Yeah. That was, come on.
I apologize.
Can't lie to the viewers.
Yeah.
All right.
So 2.5 days. And actually, technically, we're getting very close to it just being
1.5
2
days.
days. Yeah.
Or,
Because, like,
yeah,
you know,
2
as we
days,
get
yeah.
to mid...
You are
yeah.
so smart.
Thanks, man. Look,
Wow.
I tried.
All right.
As LeBlanc is going to be banned here on DragonX's side. Of course, now on the blue side, we'll have a little bit more flexibility.
Yep. Able to come in as a counter pick. We'll see what DAMWON is going to end up trying to do here. They probably want to ban away the Ornn. Most likely. Aphelios banned away. Probably going to be Ornn second. Banned away by DAMWON.
And remember, the red side bans are really interesting on DragonX's side. They banned all mid laners, Azir, Syndra, and Zoe in the first game. And so now, continuing that trend of looking towards the mid lane, but DAMWON will have the ability to ban all of the big picks in the Aphelios and the Ornn.
Yeah.
Senna, though, going to be given a lot of respect here on the blue side.
So let's see what does end up happening.
I think Ornn has to be the ban here, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess we were saying that throughout the entire first set of bans, as speaking of sets, Set is going to be banned. And not the Ornn.
And
Maybe Zoe?
I have no idea what is going to be the plan. If ban number 3 isn't Ornn, I think DAMWON is trolling.
Yeah.
I think that don't want to win or don't want to go showed up.
Yeah. Doesn't win games.
Doesn't
I think
win.
is,
There you go.
showing up. Yeah. Definitely.
All right, we're here to play.
Xylophones. Yep, here we are. We do want to go.
And now what is the B1 going to be out of DragonX? They're hovering Olaf.
Wow. Very high priority, of course, was banned in the first game. They could just lock away Misfortune if they'd like to, but no. The Olaf will be the choice.
And Ezreal and Yuumi are still available. Obviously, Deft, probably the best Ezreal player.
Yes.
Not even just in the LCK, but the world.
I think so. Had a bit of a rough one on it last week, but we'll see whether he can pull it out again as DAMWON. They found the Yuumi button beforehand, and it is going to be locked away. So a Yuumi lane, when it's Nuclear that's playing, is not quite as scary as some of our Yuumi lanes, but we'll see whether he can redeem himself here in this game. Canyon thinking about what he wants to lock away. And Ezreal Yuumi is going to be the option. A dangerous thing to actually pick into DragonX because they are so good at both of these champions that it's likely that they know how to dismantle it, as Kalista already out.
Will it be...
Yeah, Kalista Volibear, baby.
Kalista Volibear coming out now. Immediate response.
Won't be as fun as the Volibear that we saw Tucson piloting, who was just like split pushing and earning all of the
that wasn't
fat stacks.
Volibear, that was Volley God.
Yeah. That was Yorick Burnison.
Yeah.
That's who that was.
That was
certainly a dominant force. As Zoe was also available, so we've got Ezreal, Yuumi, and Zoe in the same game. This is looking like a much better draft from DAMWON.
Now, they might ban away Syndra here. DAMWON, as there's quite a few Zoe counters that does exist. And, you know, a lesser common pick that currently, due to the R1, R2, R3 of DAMWON, could even come in is actually Kassadin.
Oh, true. And Chovy was one of our resident Kassadin players.
The Nautilus ban, I don't know in what universe Volibear's going top.
Well, if you remember back to DragonX and their love for Nautilus
mid, yeah.
Yeah, that might be what they're referring to here. As Trundle going to be the follow-up ban. Certainly one of the favorites into the Olaf, largely to do with the subjugation, removing any stats that he may have accrued for himself. And so when he pops the Ragnarok and does even more statistical damage to himself, he is quite easy to take down. Rumble,
you know,
the next one.
Oh, okay. So they're really worried about just champions that I guess can sort of cheat lane against the Zoe and really just try to help out the Kalista and the Volibear.
I also don't mind the Rumble just because DragonX already have for themselves a very mid-game focused first few picks, and Rumble would certainly fit into that archetype very well. Another champion that would do that is the Renekton, and that one's going to be banned away, but not exactly a coveted pick at the moment, as DAMWON look to probably take away a jungler here and leave their counter pick option for Noguri.
Well, let's see what the R4 pick is going to be out of DAMWON. Most likely going to be the jungler. I can't imagine that they wouldn't want to just reserve the top lane counter pick, and they self-counter pick themselves.
Okay. Yeah, Sejuani going to be taken. Of course, an odd choice.
As Akali being hovered. Now, yeah, there's the Syndra and Orianna. Definitely a lot of synergy with the Kalista throw plus the Olaf. I mean, it definitely is. It's a Pokeball throw.
Yeah, I do really like the Orianna. In conjunction with all of that, also, you have Olaf as a pretty fantastic ball carrier. Can just run himself into the back line unhindered.
8 picks in 1 win. Orianna's struggling a bit.
Yeah,
she needs to get her clock fixed.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we've been to the watchmaker. As, okay, the blind Aatrox for Doran, and it's going to be locked in. So I guess we're, like...
So, Irelia can come in now.
I mean, Fiora could come in now, Camille could come in now, any sort of split push option is probably fine. And
so
that's what it's going to be.
A bit bewildering.
This is a fantastic 4-1 comp from DAMWON, though. I really, really like that they give Noguri a split pushing option that can really control the pace of the game.
The thing is that the jungle mid and bot dynamic, I think is just way too hard for Noguri to realistically be able to offset on this Camille. I think that the game is going to be decided way before Camille actually gets online and starts split pushing. The other problem is they're choosing a 4-1 composition on red team, and red is objectively worse to split push on than blue team because top lane isn't a viable option to split push against because the enemy team is always going to be in close proximity to the Baron. And so definitely a bit peculiar. Everything is just going to be on the Camille if she can get far enough ahead. But if something goes completely wrong in the early stages in mid lane or bot lane, perhaps they can stabilize and hold on. I just don't think the draft really favors them, all things considered.
Yeah. And it will be a game where they can get Noguri really far ahead, and so maybe an accelerated split-pushing Camille that can, 1v2 successfully from a very early clip will be something that they can do. And of course, Showmaker on the Zoe will always be able to shape the mid-game, right? We always talk about this. When it comes to the Zoe, it only gets worse when Ezreal's there because the disengage options definitely abundant for that particular bottom lane carry, but you have to remember the nameplates are on, and Nuclear isn't one of our known Ezreal players. And Deft, we mentioned it. We were talking about Kalista before, and I was talking about Deft and the fact that he was so damn good on this champion. Fun fact, he started off not being very good on the Kalista when she first came out, and she was really, really strong. Took him quite a few losses before he really found his stride, but once he did, he found it pretty well.
So find Zoe and her cat.
Yeah.
And they're just looking for wards right now.
Not going to find any joy when it comes to those wards, but they do manage to get vision down of their own. Sejuani going to be starting towards the top side by the looks of things, and they are going to be able to take this ward down also, as Deft is gifted over the gold for taking that one down. Already has a CS advantage. An infinitely higher CS advantage.
I mean, it's already over, I feel.
It's extraordinary, isn't it?
As I think DRX is thinking about reinvading. Another ward placed by Yuumi.
Yep. Carrier going to be sentenced to be oath sworn. And
DRX going to start by taking away the blue, and this can make way for a 3-buff opening. I'm curious if Doran's going to head over and place a ward on the blue. It does look like that is what he's going to do, and you do this so that if Sejuani tries to get a little cute with a red into blue invade, Olaf can just immediately start running over, Orianna can fall back, Aatrox can fall back, deny the blue buff capture, and then you end up 3-buffing the Sejuani, and then because she's so naturally slow at clearing compared to that of the Olaf, things get a little bit dicey for it. Now, Canyon is looking for a bit of a mix-up here.
yeah. Heading towards mid, trying to see what he can do.
Is he going to sneak into... Oh, Pioshik might die here.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing. Oh my god, he smited. Okay,
Well, he's now exhausted, which now lasts an extra 0.5 of a second. Completely irrelevant, as Showmaker was trying to get in there for another assist. Nuclear doesn't get one for himself, but that was a disaster. And this may help DAMWON move their composition
really,
exactly the way
really
they
big.
want to.
As I don't know why that ended up happening. It was very clear that Olaf was still on top of ward. You saw the Ezreal and the Yuumi moving over.
Yeah, and
You
also
have
they
to-
pinged it. They pinged it before he
Yeah.
even got there, right? Like, they knew that that was what was going to happen.
This is just so bizarre. He also smites early, by the way. He doesn't know where the Sejuani is. There is a very real world where she just actually comes over and smites that away too.
Yeah.
So, Koshik just playing pretty poorly right now,
It's not what you want.
as Canyon refuses to recall, actually. Gonna try to invade the Olaf as he's doing a dual camp. And in doing so, actually gives away where Canyon is.
Yep, and doesn't manage to disrupt his jungling at all. He has his entire bottom side to take. And so despite, you know, Canyon did manage to get his blue buff, he didn't get the experience or anything like that, missed out on Bertha as well, so still a chance that the Olaf is going to be able to stabilize very comfortably in this game, moving over to his chickens now, and Canyon is going to be able to get himself a Rift Scuttler. He will take double Scuttle, as Chobi's fighting with Showmaker here. Command Protect actually doing a lot of work, but there's the flash forward. Showmaker wanting to try and collect this. Now flashless on both sides, but now Pioshik's just... Oh! What the heck? He flashed over the Paddle Star just as we were saying that he wasn't able to get this one done. He outplays the hell out of Showmaker. Now walks past another undertow. Will he have the Reckless Swing? Yes, he does. Cool guys don't look at explosions, and I am so sorry I ever doubted you, Pioshik.
And that is a massive kick back into this game, gives one of the assists over to Chovy on the Zoe, and yeah, he's redeemed himself after the initial start.
We were watching that Paddle Star go towards him, and I was like, oh,
that looks so
no,
free.
this game's over. And then he just, oh, damn, that was real impressive.
Now, the one saving grace is that Doran's actually doing really questionable up here in top lane, although managed to land a nice little combo. That's actually, it swung it back to being pretty close to even. Nuguri was really having the leg up. He was up quite a lot in the CS department. I still believe he's up 10 CS. Chovy flashes away at the very end. Canyon doesn't need to know this because Showmaker was already so far ahead in mid. And then watch the flash over the Paddle Star. Showmaker just thought that he was indeed dead. Taking a look at this from the pro view. Really nice ward control. Really good mouse control all around.
And look at his face as well. It's like none of it bothered him at all. Like, it was just, that was just his normal, that's just a normal day.
얘 풀 뺄 수 있을 듯. 뭐야? 얘 풀 없어?
He didn't
왜
have
안
flash? Or initially he said, I believe I can get his flash, and then he said, oh, What? He didn't have it?
Well, I guess they didn't count the flashes, but still, he's dead. And Doran gets back towards the top side. You're exactly right. 10 CS is going to be the margin there. And now with Pyosik so much stronger, it's likely that they can potentially make a dive work out. Level 5 in comparison to Canyon's level 4. We haven't looked towards bottom side. Deft and Kerry are having an absolutely fine time, although Beryl has way more fairy charms, which is a clear sign that they're winning the lane. Look at how many fairy charms he's got. He's got 3.
He does have 3
That's
fairy
a
charms.
lot of fairy charms.
Yeah. One might say that Yuumi potentially a fairy killer.
Maybe.
Maybe Yumi's actually just a very sick, disturbed cat.
It's like collecting ears, you know?
You know what? Isn't Yuumi owned by the Yordle that is friends with Lulu? Isn't that the lore?
Ooh, I don't know.
And we know that Lulu is a bit of a...
Yeah, she's
a bit of a
crazy.
sicko.
She is, yeah.
She really is. She's kind of, you know, she's batshit.
Yeah, well, when someone knows the smell of
In the
purple,
lore.
I don't quite know what that necessarily entails, but it frightens me. The whole idea is Trouble Level's going to land. Chovy has to cleanse. Doesn't get to do that too often, as saw it pinged out. Canyon now with an opportunity to get towards the mid lane as well. He's level 5, but they steal away another blue buff to DragonX. And yes, Canyon will be able to take the Rift Scuttler, but now it's looking like possibly an Ocean Drake here for DragonX. Pyosik will just clear out the ward and take that one as well. Red buff is going to be where Canyon's going. But you can see the push is in favor of DragonX, and they certainly have stabilized during this game.
At this point, DragonX with a slight advantage, now getting the Ocean Dragon. Rolling a Cloud second is the best possible thing for DragonX.
Yeah, it means every single Drake is going to be good.
Every good dragon can possibly come up now.
Oh,
As
dear.
Chovy, is he gonna sniff? Oh, did not get the last minion.
Yep, and also doesn't have flash available as Canyon taking a lot of damage. That's a brilliant shockwave, but it's not going to be enough. Carrier gets one of the kills as Nogari gets flashed out of the way of Carrier. His passive working out as Pyosik's like, I don't care about your fire, I'm just gonna follow you into my jungle, which is your demise. And a 2-for-1 in favor of DragonX is going to be the result. And Deft is down here actually avoiding. It's just you by yourself, Deft. Okay, doesn't have to
Got
flash.
the exhaust. I think they didn't even know what was going on. They were getting a little nervous.
Yeah, well, that's a flash forward from Doran. Don't know why he went for that one. Took 2 turret shots, almost 3 as Carrier. Gets down towards the bottom side, is throwing nuclear around like a ragdoll as the Pierce is doing so much damage. Didn't quite have the rend. And now Pyosik turns up towards the top side, now looking to try and take down Nogari as well. Canyon's going to be here.
Well,
and this is
a
bit
bit
dicey.
of a, yeah, this is definitely, cue the music.
Yeah, ring around the rosy, yakety sax type style of play. But no harm, no foul.
So they got all of the spells, though, out of Ezreal and Yuumi. So now the Callista ultimate is basically a death sentence, even though there's no Thresh in sight.
It's feeling pretty free.
Luden's Echo almost complete on the Orianna, riding Showmaker 20 in CS, as well as an experience advantage. Chovy's already been in level 8 for a little while. Rift Herald picked up, a lot of time still remaining on it. I think they're going to use it to get ahead of this. Oh, no.
Oh, no, he got it stopped. Gets flung back as well as Nogari will be going down. Had no ult, no way out. And now they're going to eat up all of these plates as well. Looks like Pyosik, he wants to be able to grab some of this money. And from what looked like a really tough lane for Doran, with the help of some of his friends, he's well and truly back in it. They will be able to take this turret down and continue this lead. This is a big one, probably the biggest that we've seen in an earlier stage so far today. Of course, you know, sample size relatively small, but last game was very close. This one not feeling the same.
Well, let's take a look at this. So Chovy actually messed up not getting the CS. His ultimate really late, by the way. He was pulling them south rather than in towards the turret. So maybe there was something I'm completely missing there about his cooldowns. So it was a little bit peculiar. And Showmaker ends up being brought down not by Pyosik, but by the minions' auto attacks, as we see on the right-hand side, the northeast. We saw Deft getting ready to jump in. Nuggery getting canceled. He had nowhere to go. No Hextech ultimatum. Carrier the one tanking the turret so that in the event that the Volibear passive is necessary. He's able to keep tanking. Herald ended up being spawned. All the turret plates going down to Doran. This is lights out for the Ezreal Yuumi.
Fate's Call comes in. Goodbye, Mr. Ezreal. And there was no Yuumi even there. And so he was even more dead. 1-0-0 now for Deft, looking to build towards his Blade of the Ruin King as soon as possible. And that 10 CS advantage is now going to balloon.
This is a really cool thing that it used to be a lot more prevalent in Season 3 and Season 4, but I'll talk about it right after this replay. This whole play is able to be set up and manufactured by the fact that they traded so hard against Ezreal and Yuumi when a kill wasn't possible. Doran's getting killed up in top lane.
Very dead.
And the whole getting the opponent summoners even when you can't kill them, but then killing them about 90 seconds from now, is a thing that when assassins used to be in meta like Zed or Zed versus Orianna historically, Zed would oftentimes cast his ultimate even when Ori wasn't in lethal.
Oh my god, they're just trying to kill them. The Ren stacks are coming through. Nuclear will be going down as Deft. Grabs that kill. The Volibear sacrificed himself as Nogari has made his way back down as well. Hextech Ultimatum will just mean the death of him. And the Paddle Star's not going to connect. Beryl now fed to the Wolves.
Blocking
Good
up
night,
the turret.
Sweet Cat. As Deft moves out of turret range, and they will be able to take this turret down. DAMWON are done in this series.
This game is a complete blowout. There's not going to be any way to come back. Yet again, DAMWON get outscaled by DragonX while also finding themselves in losing lane matchups. And it is truly impressive to do it 2 games in a row as well as on red side. It's a feat in itself.
Yeah. It's impressive, but maybe we should be talking about DAMWON not necessarily being in their true form right now. As this was Doran's fault. He started this. As, yeah. The junglers there, mate, you are dead every single time.
Well, this is, you know, I would call it a stomp, but usually a stomp has some energy behind the, you know.
Yeah.
I think gravity could probably just kill DAMWON here. Not a lot of effort necessary.
Nope. And now, you know, the bottom lane is so accelerated. Carrie's going to deny Nogari's hookshot entirely, but the good bubble that's going to land. Prowling projectile comes down. Carrie is going to get slowed, and I think Deft doesn't have Fate's Call. Very close to having a back off cooldown. Pulls it back immediately as the flash comes forward. As Carrier says, nah, I'm leaving you to the wolves, my dude.
And DAMWON, they're trying to say that, you know, hey, we're still in this. Unbeknownst to them, they can't see the gold score. And also the fact that DragonX is going to be staring down a 24-minute, probably, Infernal Soul, as we consider that there should be a little bit of resistance.
Yep, there's also the fact that they've taken every plate, I believe. Apart from that mid lane, which still has a couple to go, there's Showmaker.
When is the
Not
last
his
time
flash that came in there as Carrier. He hex flashes to get himself out.
I don't know the last time DAMWON got 15 plated. I think it was against G2 at Worlds, which they actually almost managed to bring that game back.
Yeah,
and
maybe.
ended up losing at the very final team fight behind Baron buff.
But I mean, if you have a look at it as well, I mean, Chovy's 50 CS up over Showmaker. He gets himself a redemption. He's going to use that to stop a back. But otherwise, this game is very, very difficult for DAMWON, despite managing to get that kill towards the top side onto Deft. You're going to have a look at it again. Watch the bear defect. You see Deft kept himself in range of the Fate's Call.
Yeah.
And then only to provide safety for his bear. I hope that was communicated.
At this point, everyone on the side of DragonX are just so far ahead. Not just in gold, but also in base levels. Look at mid lane, 2 levels, AD carry 1 level, support 1 level. Jungle, I think, is about a level and a half. And Olaf, I mean, he's getting first dibs on Sejuani's respawned camp. So Sejuani will get the Scuttle Crab, but instead, Canyon, he wants to coin flip a little bit. So a bit of a gambler going on here.
Yeah.
Trying to put his faith in the casino.
But I mean, also, there is a Aatrox in that lane. Now Carrier looking for Showmaker, his heal. That's actually his original one, is now Nogari fighting against Doran, but he'll get the bad news. There's, oh, good flash there, and avoids the True Shot barrage as well. But otherwise, not going to be enough as Nuclear is still fighting against Chovy here in this mid lane. Has his Yuumi there as well, so will be safe. How safe can you really call the state of this game when they're losing inner turret's top lane for free?
They end up getting the Aatrox right there, but this is very akin to the thing that we talked about last game where Def ended up blowing his flash for something. So you could make the argument that any bit of gold is really important for DAMWON right now, but Camille not having the flash for the Infernal fight, the Infernal Dragon in itself just going over completely for free is going to be really bad. Sure, you can look at Camille getting a little bit of gold, but as long as Aatrox actually just starts hugging the turret, or if you allocate Orianna to match the Camille, now DragonX, with the second Rift Herald, with Infernal coming up in a minute and a half, they can just cruise into it and then basically say your Camille's never actually going to get online in time, and you can't team fight us either.
Yeah. Bad to worse. Scannion trying to clear out whichever parts of his jungle are still there. And Def just building towards his Runan's Hurricane, slowly but surely. A minute until that Drake comes up, and we'll see whether a reset is going to be what they're looking for, moving towards it. To DAMWON's credit, they have at least stemmed the bleeding for now. They're not falling too much further behind, despite turrets falling left, right, and center. Still able to at least find minions on this map. Nogri gets the turret.
Yeah. And this was just Doran needlessly trying to defend this. And the thing about this that's so peculiar is you use deductive reasoning, and you're like, hey, Sejuani isn't in mid lane, she's not in left side jungle, Olaf just took all the camps, where could she be? And it's like, gee, George, yeah. I wonder. And so if you're Aatrox there, you ask yourself the question, am I really going to lose the game if Camille just gets the 500 gold from this turret? And the answer is no. So Doran just being very greedy, trying to defend it. And that was the coin flip that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Does Doran really value defending that turret more than just freely coasting to a win?
Well, now you've got Koshik with a Spirit Visage completed as well. It's going to be even more difficult to kill. QSS is done for Def, so not going to be too worried about those gank attempts once again. As Doran, I've seen this video before. It's not one that you enjoyed, I don't think. And now at least he has a bear up there towards the top side to try and help him out. As in goes Nogri. A lot of damage there onto Doran, but World Ender will give him the movement speed required, and Koshik's going to pick up this Infernal Drake for free, threatening Infernal Soul at about 23 minutes in this game, like you were talking about, LS. And it's another one of these sort of real inevitability feelings when DAMWON do have a comp that can navigate a mid-game and do have a late-game win condition. It just feels like it's almost for naught right now, given how far behind they are.
Hold your thought there. Hold on, I gotta take a little photo.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
I gotta get that Morello. Hold on.
Yeah.
That one's going on Instagram.
Yeah. Still gotta build that Instagram. I mean, Barrel exists.
I haven't made it yet. I'm gonna make it soon.
You're stockpiling?
Yeah, I'm stockpiling. I think I'm up to about 40 images.
Okay.
So it's quite nice.
You're gonna have a big one. It's gonna be.
And so, you know what? I'll take a little bit chance to talk about that. We haven't talked about active healing. Active healing is a really interesting thing. Active healing means that you have to be actively doing something in order to benefit from the heal. So, for Camille to heal, she has to be hitting you.
Yep.
For Ezreal to heal, if he has Bloodline, he has to be hitting you. Zoe is single target healing. So, there is no universe where... Yuumi is single target heal. So, there's no universe where not just sitting on the Oblivion Orb and coasting into another item, whether it be Death Cap at this stage, or just going into the Liandry so that you also have more value with the neutral objectives, like the Baron, like the Elder Dragon, or the Infernal, would ever not be better at this point. So, whenever an opponent has active healing and you're a mage, you're a long-range mage, and you can have multiple applications of another item hitting them, it's going to outdeal
CC, right?
the healing that you would prevent. Because Morello is only 40%.
Yeah.
So, you do the math, you go into it, post-mitigation, yada, yada, yada. Not a whole bunch. There's my Morello spiel for the cast. I'll see you in game number 2, or series number 2.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited about that. Still a few more things that we can talk about when it comes to it. But the idea of thinking about active healing is actually very interesting. It might help some people understand exactly why we get so upset about the old Morellonomicon. But I mean, that is a free Morellonomicon, right? Like, Chovy is an entire full item ahead of Showmaker right now. In a time of the game where Zoe wants to be performing. This is the time where Zoe's coming online, starting to take control. Not this Zoe. That's just not how it's going to work this game. As Showmaker shoves in towards the top side. Wave's going to be answered there by Doran as Deft and Pioshik looking towards top of the map. And Carrier is just going to go back to refill on his wards.
Almost a Flame Horizon in mid lane
Yeah,
by
it's just
Chovy.
nutty the amount of minions Chovy's been able to pick up this game.
And I really like the Iceborne Gauntlet on the side of Nuclear. There is so much physical damage on the side of DRX.
Yep.
That it is quite nice.
Also wants to be able to control the battlefield a little bit more as well.
Yes.
Against a composition like this, and slows onto Callista are absolutely fantastic. You're not only making them move slower, you're making them attack slower.
Yep. 1.5 minutes until the Infernal Soul comes up, and really there's just no hope. I mean, you have the Camille, but as long as you have the Orianna Matcher, everything is just going to be completely fine. So at this point, Blade of the Ruin King, Runon's Hurricane completed for Callista, also has the defensive item inside of the
big power
QSS.
spike, but,
Things are just looking really rough right now. 2 level gap in mid, 1 level in jungle, 1 level in AD carry. Supports are even at this point, but Bully Bear's value against the enemy team is just so high. As Pioshik finds Nuggery, chips
doesn't
him.
look like he's too worried about that.
Yeah, and you can just see they're allocating Chovy to the bottom lane because that's the champion Nuggery can't move.
Yep.
As Zoe and her cat looking for something.
A lot of vision just being switched back and forth. Doran actually getting over the wall. There's the flash forward from Carrier. He probably will go down, but can they find the team fight is the question. Doran getting on top of Nuclear, but he's kept himself alive for now. 2-man Shockwave is big in that corridor. And I tell a lie, that's a 3-man as now Showmaker finds himself the last man standing. Double kill for Deft as he tidies this one up. And now DragonX, they can go towards the Infernal Drake if they like, but a Baron's also available. Chovy's decided he wants to take a blue buff. They could take anything.
Well, 15 seconds until the Infernal Soul coming up, and because of the death timers and the fact that it's a Zoe, there's no real reason to send someone over to the Infernal Dragon first. And so now they're going to be able to get this Baron. They have the Callista Rend. It was nerfed, I believe, last year.
Yep.
Carrier might die. Nope, actually. Oh!
That Ocean Drake.
If
that
only,
one Ocean Drake.
Only Baron Nashor had Morello. Maybe Kyria
Yeah.
would have died, but
Could have justified that purchase.
take a look at
It
this.
looks
Doran,
so aggressive from Carrier.
yeah, Carrier just goes super ham, knowing that the enemy's going to have to run. The Callista ultimate comes out. Everyone just full speed ahead. They're going to the ship.
Oh yeah. They were very excited about finally getting their tickets to the ship. And Canyon, not so excited about finding all of DRX in this river. Pioshik going to come on down. They are looking for a potential 50-50 option here. As Carrier's looking for a flank. Nogri in position. This Deft is going to secure the Drake, and now the fight is going to be taken by DAMWON. A dangerous decision is now. True Shot Barrage flies over, lands onto a couple as Doran's looking to try and Umbral Dash out of this one. Can't do it. If the Hextech Ultimatum's there, as the Shockwave does come down on top of Doran, but a bit of miscommunication didn't quite work out there as the final chapter's not enough, and the Blast Cone gets all of DragonX to safety. Do DAMWON, do they have damage available in their kits? It's insane. How did Doran survive?
The thing is that you have a Zoe that is at 1.5 items right now. She just has a needlessly large rod, whereas Chovy on the left-hand side, he's about to have his Rabadon's Death Cap complete. Has Morello, Sork Pen Boots. I mean, he's dealing true damage to so many members on DAMWON right now. I believe
Almost Canyon, actually.
I believe Zoe, Ezreal, and Camille are getting true damage at this current point in time by the Orianna. We'll have to see until when the Observer maybe pans over some of the champs.
I think Canyon and Nogri get more passive MR.
Zoe 43, so actually not quite true damage. 33 Magic Pen on the side of Chovy.
Well, now Pioshik's going to get caught out of position. Now looking to try and turn this one. Nuclear taking a lot of damage there as Carrier. Not going to have too much to offer this one as the Mystic Shot is going to land, but Tower falls in the mid lane, and you've got Chovy pushing towards the top as well. I feel like DragonX were relatively okay with letting their Olaf fall. But it will slow them down.
Yeah, it will slow them down massively. It's a nice little pickup for DAMWON, but it's Infernal Soul, 2 Infernal Dragons. I mean, honestly, DAMWON, they keep getting these very bizarre pickoffs as the stopwatch Volley Bear apparently was inside of Ballista.
Yeah, we're not going to find the Glacial Prison, though, as Def in a little bit of trouble. He's going to go down, and it's a double kill. It's the bottom lane, not able to get the work done. Doran decides to run in 1 versus 4, and does eventually get out. Chovy's waiting in the wings. Are they going to go for this? They're going to go for this, aren't they?
I feel the in. I feel it.
Okay. No, they're going to go for the reset. Sometimes you get that rush of blood, you know, straight to the noggin. It's just too hard to not answer it.
I just don't know why Pyoshik is here on the right-hand side. He has teammates in mid, teammates in top, Atrox fixing the wave in bot lane. And randomly, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I'm not really quite sure. It's Def and Kyria now. I mean, they just really weren't able to do anything. They're not able to get away, and so it would have been a lot better to try to just straight up fight. But they're going to end up going down anyway.
Yeah. And we'll see whether that actually changes anything here in this game. We're still heading towards a 10,000 gold lead very, very soon for DragonX. They have the Infernal Soul. No dragons available for DAMWON. Baron's available in 2 minutes. Elder Drake in 2:40. And DragonX have broken the base, at least in the mid lane. So any teamfight victory will probably spell lights out for this game.
The only way that DAMWON can win this game is if somehow they can hang on until Elder and then steal it. Steal it into an ace with a minion wave in close proximity in mid lane or bot lane, and then try to just run it up and kill the Nexus. That's really the only outline that they have going for them. The fact that this is actually taking DAMWON, or DRX, as long as it is, to close this out is very surprising.
Well, now Showmaker is up towards the top side. You've got Camille looking to answer the Aatrox push on the bottom. And it's probably just one of those times where DragonX wants to re-establish Soul Vision around the Baron area. And they can take that in a minute's time when he is back onto the Rift. You can see the Grey Hourglass has just appeared. Yeah, Chovy's got a lot of CS this game. The old 11.3, not too bad.
I think he's doing okay.
It's a bit
All
of
right,
a
you don't have to
flame
prop him up.
It's a bit of a flame horizon. A 28-minute flame horizon is pretty good.
It's only 11.2.
Yeah.
To my knowledge, 12 minions spawn a minute, so...
Okay.
You know?
Well, then, you know, sometimes some people are just too hard to please.
Yeah.
And DragonX, they don't quite have a 10,000 gold lead yet. So things could be better for them. And if they find themselves in these rough parts of the map more often, then maybe, just maybe, DAMWON will have a chance to make their way back into this one. Aatrox still moving up from the bottom side of the map. Showmaker's really struggled to land the key bubbles in this mid to late game. Is now Nogari's going to get Shockwave towards the top side. Chovy looking for it. Clockwork windup is working. Look at the damage, man. Nogari just not with a lot of magic resist right now. He's going to get out of there for the minute, but with Nogari chunked, he will probably have to back and teleport back into this one. DragonX in the meantime have started off the Baron. And Canyon looking to get into position, try and capitalize. No Shockwave, remember, so maybe an opportunity. As the teleport does come down, we're going to have a 50-50 on this fight. As Canyon's looking for Chovy, who flashes to get himself out of the way. Nogari's going to go down. Pyoshik grabs the Baron, and DAMWON are just too far behind. The Zoe does pick off the Callista, but it's a double kill for Chovy. The flash forward from Doran looking to dive on top of Nuclear and Showmaker, but they are very slippery champions. And DragonX will be able to at least gather an inhibitor from this one.
And the Ezreal Zoe just not able to do anything. United they stand, but right now, DragonX, they should actually wait for Def to come up, 20 seconds. They should just stop hitting it.
They might do that.
They might do that. We'll see. We'll check back in. As honestly, without all the advantages, this was a very big blunder that they had going on. Deft almost died. That True Shot Barrage didn't hit him. So Showmaker ends up bringing him down shortly thereafter, but that was way closer than it needed to be.
Yeah.
We'll see if Deft has Elder in live.
Where are you? Please show us. 2 minutes, 40 seconds on that one.
Elder and Baron. This is very peculiar.
I see him. Yeah, he's got it.
He does?
He does, doesn't he? That's it, right? Yeah.
Yes, he wait, is that it, or is that Infernal Soul?
I think Infernal Soul is the Infernal Soul-y looking one.
These animation kids these days.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's
It's
hard.
never
It's hard to know,
can't keep up with the times.
but I think it is. I think we're good. As now, DAMWON have to try and defend from an Elder and a Baron at the same time when they're in the hole 12,000 gold. But still, DragonX not actually biting off too much right here.
This is a very awkward point, though, where the Ezreal and Zoe, they just have so much ammo on such short cooldown that DRX needs to just pull the trigger and go.
Yeah, they need to try and find a flip target here for the carrier. Does have flash available as they move towards the inhibitor. They are going to be able to take that one as Nuclear burning down the Elder Drake. A lot of damage there.
They have Elder. It is so inconceivable that they could actually lose a team fight. And
Looks like DAMWON know that, as both inhibitors are going to go for free.
they're wearing a biohazard suit to this team fight. I don't know.
Well, that's a flash forward, but it's a great Glacial Prison in the back line. Fate's Call comes out as well as the Bear was golden, and the Camille is going to go down as an afterthought. Canyon falling as well. The two tankiest members have been taken out. Nuclear and Showmaker now relegated to the fountain. A gigantic rend will take out Nuclear, and now the inhibitor turrets will follow.
They need
Carrier
to leave
just
that cat alone.
playing some fun and games on this Volley Bear right
my.
now as he dives. The fountain and the stopwatch is going to be the answer. Flash forward as Deft finally takes down the cat. But that will be the 2-0 for DragonX.
So they come out with the 2-0, and everything just looking pretty smooth sailing in this game.
And this is one of those games where I want to give the player of the game to a player for actually just one play. Like that one play that he made, that Pioshik made in the mid lane to get it to turn what looked like a 0-2 into a 2-1 situation was damn.
And DAMWON, they continue to just basically be the same DAMWON. I don't really know what to say without it being too negative, but I'm pretty sure they have the worst drafts in the LCK, and they have such a reliance on Nuguri and Showmaker just being so much individually better than their opponents that it's able to offset the discrepancy that is present in bot lane, and the fact that, I mean, all throughout 2019, we called Canyon the Gambler.
Yeah.
Along with Malrong, and everything is just looking so bizarre for them. Here tonight, 2 back-to-back really hard draft losses, looking lost inside of the game. And the most bizarre part is they almost managed to stabilize, or it looked like they were trying to stabilize in the late stages of this game number 2 after such a catastrophic early game.
Yeah, which is exactly what they weren't allowed to have happen, right? Because if this composition had have actually got ahead in the mid game, it would have been impressive, right? Like, they actually, like, the draft in game 2 wasn't, like, straight up all losing lanes and a losing late game, which is what game 1 was. That was probably the most quintessential lost draft you could ever get in game number 1. This wasn't that, you know, this had some elements that made
Ezreal
sense,
Zoe,
you know,
if it could
Ezreal
get
Zoe
there.
and Camille as a split push option with, you know, Ezreal and Zoe's like mid lane control in the mid game. That's, you know, a way that you can pivot around. Like, you could see how it won, but it just didn't. That was the problem.
Yeah. Well, that is going to move DragonX comfortably up.
Yeah, they're going to be
with their 2-0 win.
sitting relatively pretty.
Yeah.
As having a look at it, they were in 3rd place before, and now going to be moving up to stick around in the 3rd place. But still, they have increased the gap between them and Afrika, which is the main thing. Now a couple of matches ahead of the Afrika squad that wants to try and get a win over Gen G in coming days.
This is really important because if Hanwha Life actually managed to win 2-0 later on tonight, they'll tie DAMWON in score, even though... Oh no, they can actually tie them in points.
Yeah, they can be like a full tie for 5th place.
Yeah, there's a potential for a full tie. And Hanwha Life, I don't know if they're actually favored against APK, as weird as that sounds.
Yeah, I actually don't know what to expect from our next series.
I don't know who to call the underdog in that matchup.
I think we have to call APK the underdog because they've won 1 match so far. You know?
I think they've looked much more impressive in their losses than Hanwha Life has, whereas Hanwha Life, sometimes they just get steamrolled.
Yeah.
Completely steamrolled. And the fortunate thing is Hanwha Life, they have Cuvée going up against Ixu with his Pandora's Box of Champions. I think that's one of the best edges that APK can actually find in the LCK, is Ixu against Cuvée.
Although Nara's been buffed, so dangerous times for anyone facing up against Cuvée. Let's have a look at this once again. This is a great part to highlight because Pioshik did just overly greed for Bertha in the early game. But then you're thinking, oh no, he's doing it again. Like, what's happening? He says, no, that's not what's happening, guys. I'm just gonna 1v2.
And so Pioshik just dogging down the Sejuani here. Honestly, a little actually surprised that Canyon elected to take that blast cone route instead of over into the Wolves and then try to wait on his cooldown and then go over the wall again.
Yeah.
Arctic Assault over. So all around, just a lot of stuff going very strange for DAMWON in general. Showmaker has the Ignite there, not able to do anything, just casts it right as the minions actually bring him down.
This doesn't want to go though. This doesn't win games this series. This wasn't the DAMWON that we've grown to enjoy. Because honestly, like, they did have like some matches even this season that did look like there were shades of the old DAMWON gaming. And even their series against Afrika was really fun, but this wasn't fun. This was just DAMWON getting slaughtered.
They have way too much of a reliance on Nuguri and Showmaker, and with the sheer refusal, as well as the way the meta is right now, top lane, it's pretty hard to come by pure skill versus skill matchups nowadays, and so Nuguri he's hit by that. And then also, if you look at the mid lane, Showmaker doesn't have his Akali. He doesn't have the other champions that can go even in early game and then just blast everything in mid game by sheer control. And so DAMWON is getting hit because their 2 stars have anchors on them. And with the way that they draft, doesn't even matter if they get ahead, the team cohesion just isn't there in the mid game.
Yeah, it really does feel like a team that does have
It's a bit of a
a few
dumpster fire.
internal issues at the moment that they're trying to work through. Something that sort of plays a part in what we were discussing on the POG stage this week. As Carrier decided he'd take matters into his own hands, didn't necessarily work out, but they had very heavy wallets. At this stage, they were waving them around like they just didn't care. And DAMWON had no answers whatsoever.
이걸 어디까지 가는 거야?
갈래?
Do you want to go?
기다려. 쌍둥이 기다려봐 이거.
쌍둥이부터 깨봐 일단.
쌍둥이 깨고.
한 대 깨고 앞선
야, 한 명 살아야 돼. 한 명 살아야 돼.
내가 문제 내가 문제
오케이.
Let's do it.
도망가.
템다 빨고 돌려놨어.
줄 건져.
I like Deft's little grin at the end there as he managed to flash onto the fountain right as the Nexus was being taken down.
He did kill the cat.
Yep.
As Chovy dealing quite a bit of damage this game. Everyone was really just getting in on the action.
Yeah, it was actually
this time around
very similar on both sides, to be perfectly honest. So not exactly going to be giving player of the game for damage dealt necessarily, but still, as you can see by the gold graph, this was not close. It wasn't like game number 1 where there was at least that time where DAMWON looked like they were possibly able to hold on, even if we may have known better at that particular moment due to the draft. This was a game where DragonX, they turned it around out of purely one play from Pyoshik, and from that point on, the game was really hard.
Pretty long break coming up.
Yes, we do. It is currently 7 p.m., so we've got about an hour before we get there, as Pyoshik is going to be able to grab it, but 5 out of 9, Carrier picked up, pardon me, 4 of the other votes as well. So a shout out to the man on the bear, but I think Tusin's ruined bear performances for us almost entirely, because he was so cool.
I think Kyria did a fantastic job this game. Pyoshik, obviously, he started off by donking it.
Yeah,
and then he brought it back and remained pretty stable and consistent all the way until his death in like the right-hand side jungle, if you recall. So overall, pretty good.
Yeah. It was really impressive, and that's what you want to see out of an Olaf player as well, because if you fall behind in the early game and then you proceed to do nothing, then you are absolutely useless. So he outplayed his way back into relevance, which is what this composition required in order to succeed. And you saw this team fight was not close whatsoever. Fate's Call into Shockwave, still a very, very powerful combo. So great to see DragonX looking this strong, whether they can continue to do that, because remember, their only 2 losses are against Gen.G and T1 so far.
Right.
And they're the teams that they need to try and overcome as we move further on in this tournament. Of course, it's going to be a while since we see them again as we're going on hiatus, but still, hopefully they have that in mind when they get back to practice. And with so many roster changes, it's actually this strange blessing in disguise that we get this extended break between the first round robin and the second, because it gives us so much more opportunity to let these teams find cohesion within each other and possibly even sort out what could be some internal squabbles that have been going on. As DAMWON, they move down to -2, and like you were saying, if Hanwha Life are able to get that 2-0 over APK, it's only head-to-head that is putting DAMWON in front of this squad.
Yeah, only going to be head-to-head, and if Hanwha Life does get the 2-0, they're sort of tied for 5th, but because of the head-to-head, it still will actually be DAMWON that retains their right in 5th place.
So DragonX now in 3rd place, as you can see, even as far as the scoreline with Gen.G and T1. If Gen.G loses against Afrika, they fall to 3rd.
They do.
And T1 is outright 1st place. So these next couple of matches that are coming up in the next few days are going to be very, very important. But, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be a relatively long break. We apologize. It's DragonX's fault. They won too damn fast. So what you're going to have to do is, I don't know, go play some TFT, play a game of League, do whatever you like. Yeah, go get a burrito. And we'll be back after this relatively long break.